All right. Can you hear me this time? Let me know if you're here and you can hear me. Due to some technical difficulties, I had to jump off and try this again. Can you hear and clicking? Will, is that you can hear me or no? Oh, beautiful. Angela says she can hear me. Woo! All right, I'm back. So, apologies for the technical difficulties this morning. That is what it is. I thought I had addressed them before I came back to you, but turns out that was not the case. Bear with me, and I will bring up my notes again. One second here. So I hope that everybody had a wonderful weekend, and I thank you for those of you that shared in the group things that you took time out to do that you may have not done in a while. So I'd encourage anyone else that did that this weekend to go ahead and share in the comments, and I will do my best to come back to them in a moment. So this weekend I was studying. I'm taking a couple classes here and there. I'm not a fan of the formal education system by any means, but you know, it's all about self-development and professional development. So I do take classes when I see that there's a fit. And I came across this tidbit that I think, one, ties into the messages I've shared in the past, but also ties in well to what I want to share with you today. So, number one, today, or excuse me, not today, it is today. To fail is to be fully human. True success is not avoiding failure, but learning what to do with it. Number two, to fail is not to be a failure. Babe Ruth is remembered for his home runs, but he's also set the record for the most strikeouts. No one is a failure, number three, no one is a failure until he or she stops trying. I told you before about Thomas Edison making thousands of attempts before he had finally invented a light bulb that worked. Number four, failure is never final. If you get up one more time, then you fall down. Failure is never final. If you get up one more time, then you fall down. The fear of failure is far greater than failure itself. If you failed, simply admit it and start over. Focus on your future and not on your past. Now that came from Courageous Faith and Life Lessons from the Old Testament Heroes. It's a book that is associated with one of the courses from Liberty University. So wherever you are today, I want you to know that if you're feeling trapped, and by now, if you've heard my messages, you know that I'm here to spread good news. And one, you're not alone. And number two, you have choices, right? I've talked about this several times now. You do get the freedom. You have the freedom to choose. See, most Americans today, I think, evaluate their lives in retrospect, with no sense of control, purpose, or possibilities in the future. And without knowing where you're going, then you're doomed to live your life looking behind you. I don't want that to be you. If you've been following along so far, you already know that I believe that there's more out here for us. And I want to encourage me to pursue that, whatever it is. We get to create the life that we want. That means finding or creating work that's both purposeful and profitable, and it can be done. It enables us to pursue our passions, our desires, and to live out those dreams that we've long ago, for many of us, cast aside, right? Going back to our childhood, we dreamed of being lawyers and doctors and firefighters and policemen and whatever it was, actors. but we put those aside to live someone else's vision of what maturity and responsibility looks like. And I'm telling you that you don't have to cast your dreams aside. You need to get in touch with them. You need to figure out what the life ahead of you looks like. Now, we're not guaranteed tomorrow, right? We can only live today. We can't spend time dwelling in the past. Whatever failures you may have experienced, whatever lessons you may have learned, whatever regrets you may have, it's time to put them aside. It's time to resurface those dreams, those passions, uncover the talents and the skills that you have learned through a lifetime of work and a lifetime of lessons learned, and start building that future. We have to face our fears, our emotions, and the people who may not fully support our dreams. And that's not easy, I know. So today, I want to leave you with 2 questions. And before I get to them, I will be coming back to your comments and chat with you in a moment. I'd love to continue the conversation. If you have questions, comments, or just something to share, please do so in the comments. Love to hear it. And by the way, I appreciate your support. It motivates me when I think about jumping onto this live stream and talking with you. And the things that you're sharing with me make me feel good about what I'm doing. And I'm not here for me, I'm here for you. But in that process, of course, part of it is me and figuring out what that life looks like for me. And that's what I'm really sharing with you. So how to get there. By the way, we can continue the conversation in our Facebook group if you've not joined us. It's the Clarity Collective. If you'd like an invitation, just send me a message and I'll send you over the link. All right, so here's your homework, or the things that I want to leave you with today. There's 2 questions that I would probably say are simple, but I know that from personal experience that they're really not all that simple. There's 2 phrases I want you to think about and write down. Is number 1, what phrase would you use to describe your current life situation? What phrase would you use to describe your current life situation? Just take a few minutes at some point today, write that down. And then I want you to do one more. What phrase would you use to describe your ideal life situation? What phrase would you use to describe your ideal life situation? Take some time after you write those down. Compare and contrast the 2. What's missing from the life that you want to be living? What do you need to work on in order to start creating that life? And then I'd like you to identify 2 to 3 things, if you can, that you can start working on improving now, today, and start moving in the direction of your future. That's today's message. I'm going to jump into the comments and see what we have. Let's see here. Pat, good to see you, brother. Nice baseball point. Thanks. Yeah. It came right out of the book. I can't take credit for it, but it certainly is relevant. The harder we try, the more failure we might experience, but the more success we have the opportunity to also experience. List of points on failure. Can I please get those in the comments? I'll tell you, Jamie, I will share those in the Facebook group for you. Absolutely. Jamie. Hey, I love all of you and I support you. And before I'm going to come back to your comment, Jamie. Pat, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'd love to come up to Manassas and visit with everybody once all the craziness is over with, and just say hi. And I appreciate you being here, brother. I appreciate your support. Jamie, I don't know what your time looks like today, but I feel like I should offer you an opportunity to get on the phone if you're available. I like your honesty. And I appreciate all of that, but your phrase makes me feel like I should ask you if you just want to chat. Because I don't, well, one, I don't think that that's, I don't know what to say. Anyway, language, you know, I can appreciate that, Jamie. There's nothing wrong with the language, but I feel like, hey, you have my number. If you have time, we can talk. And keys to overwhelm, simply taking one step at a time, right? What thing do I have direct control over? What can I impact directly in my life right now in order to continue moving forward, get through the fog, and start moving in the direction that you want to go? It's one step at a time, simple things. We can't control other people's emotions, how they respond. What we can control is our own lives, our own emotions, and our own responses. Remember back to last week, the way we think about a situation is what we have control over, and that can directly influence how tomorrow unfolds, right? So yeah, absolutely, Jamie. You know I'm here, so I can appreciate that. I can appreciate being overwhelmed, and believe me, I have a lot on my plate. I'm still trying to navigate what life looks like for me. Again, that's the whole reason I'm here. So anyway, I appreciate that. I appreciate everyone's honesty. I appreciate everyone being here. And I'd love to hear if you did something over the weekend that you hadn't taken time to in a while. Share that in the comments. Join us in the Facebook group and share there. Again, that we can always continue the conversation there. My email is open for questions that you'd like me to potentially address. And that's dan@progrowthva.com. And I don't have much else for today. So unless you have questions, comments, we will start wrapping it up. Start wrapping it up there. I'll look for the comments here. I will leave you with this. Let me see. I like this quote from Abraham Lincoln. And in the end, it's not the years in your life that count. It's the life in your years. I think that's a good way to close out today's session. I appreciate all of you being here as always, and have a wonderful Monday.